Hello, everyone. My name is Wade the Walden, and welcome back to another here. Well, what do I mean as flying? Well, what do I mean as flying? Well, apparently, how do you get up in space? First of all, that's the question. Well, apparently, if you're interested, let's get started. First of all, the most not boring part, I should say, is you need to have some type of device. Well, you technically need a lot of stuff to get too high. But, well, if you want to achieve something that's much more cheaper, you might as well try my design. Well, I should say it's possibly not my design, but it's actually someone else's design. So it's technically, you can try it for yourself. Basically, the reason why there's lots of reasons that you can get into low Earth orbit. And you have to at least get above. Now, if you want to achieve to get above the International Space Station, that's going to be hard. You know how big those rockets are to just get docking? Can you imagine just to get to the moon? It takes a delta V at least to get a small orbital spacecraft around the moon, which was the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. That's a kind of a big rocket. But if you want a manned mission to the moon, you're going to have to go to this thing. And they're impossible to make. By the way, they don't use them anymore. So you're pretty much going to have, unless if you're Elon Musk, have more money than him, you could definitely will probably buy these stuff, which the government will not say because, they will display these. These things are, if you actually been to somewhere that has this, you may see in a familiar face these thrusters because usually it's like this, cut off of it. There's actually one in Missouri. My mom actually saw it as I was, of course, sleeping. But it was the end of this and was just one of the stages, the end of this on wheels. And I think that's what it is. And it's actually really messed up. It's kind of worn out. Now, if you want to have just an orbital one, you need to go to NASA and say, hey, I want to go somewhere. But if you go onto the moon, you're going to have to sign a lot of papers. Only like the wearable space plane I'm making, I need to do that. I'm going to have to negotiate to get some other budget so we can get into this thing to have a colonization. Now, how do you get at least just high enough? Well, it's easy if you're, smart enough and you can recover it. But a lot of people can do this. You can do this for yourself. You don't have to. Well, unless if you go at least higher, the only thing that you're worried about is airplanes. And, of course, you need to find somewhere that has no area, like somewhere like a farm field, like in Norway. Why not? Because usually in different countries, unless if you're in 2013, which, in 2013, there was a big, I should say, balloon. Now, if you're a lot of helium is very expensive. However, hydrogen is flammable, but it's really good ISP, which means if you fill it up, which is actually is kind of restricted. They don't want you to put hydrogen. They want you to put helium because helium is, I should say, non-flammable. Hydrogen is not, it doesn't make your voice like, don't want to put too much, but it doesn't make you sick. When you basically inhale helium, it doesn't kill you, but it will make you kind of crazy because it will start to kill you because of the gases in your brain. Your brain only uses oxygen. Without oxygen, if it's just inhaling helium, that's because it's a lightweight material that messes up your vocal cords. That's my theory. People have inhaled, they sound like this, obviously, but you could do it the husky voice by, using your vocal cords. If you play Kerbal Space Program, you probably feel familiar, but this is Earth. Kerbit is smaller than Earth. Did you know? But there's a large bit of mass, which means that's called a, I should say a density. It has a lot of density, which means it has more gravity than it's supposed to. All the planets have more density than they should be. So let's say example. All right, so you want to get a balloon. All right, you get a balloon and you have a solid fuel rocket or at least a gunpowder rocket, or something like very cheap, very like you can buy out in the store, like just like a toy. Go out and model store. Probably not solid fuel because that's technically possibly good, and definitely not aluminum, which basically is illegal unless if you must sign a paper, and you probably will have to be watched. And if they see you do something, like make it bombs. And don't do this because the farmers have to use aluminum, and they have to sign papers just to prove, because when there's an explosion that's with aluminum, they were going to have to basically what they did. So yeah, farmers, even though they're out in the field, just having a little, just hanging out in a chair, all of a sudden a guy just comes into your property and say, do you have aluminum? And you're like, yeah, of course it says on the paper. I don't know how it does it. Have you had aluminum? Let the comments below if anybody in your family years have used aluminum. But if you have it, you might as well don't use it as explosive. Just use it for farmer material if you really want to do it. But if theoretically, you can actually make fuel. Not danger, but if you make fuel, but it's illegal in most places, so you might as well use, I should say, kerosene. Why would you use kerosene? Kerosene is also illegal, and it has to go to the Russians also. That's only on the Soyuz rocket. So you're not going to use kerosene because it's very highly toxic, and it's very highly watched for, and it's very hard to concentrate. It's impossible. It's just like moonshine. Well, I honestly don't know how the hell I'm going to make moonshine because I'm not one of those people. I'm in Alaska, no, not Alaska. It's South Carolina out there, or Tennessee, whatever the hell that is. I know where it's at. I'm just kidding. And going places. So if you want to go high altitude, you need a balloon, and then you need to have a rocket attached to the bottom. And then as soon as that balloon pops, activate the thruster, and you'll be able to go higher than anything. You probably actually go into low. You can actually, if you think so, you can save so much fuel. And by carrying that stuff, eventually a big balloon and a large fuel tank with solid fuel, I'm just going to do that, you'll be able to reach higher than the ISS. I guarantee you, with a sounding rocket attached to the bottom, because the two-staged one, if it's the largest sounding rocket, you definitely will get at least high enough, but not too high where geometric orbit is. You're gonna have to use a Proton M rocket just to reach there, and you're gonna have to use 3 stages in the meaning of. So that's a lot of kerosene. Now, if you really want to reach a goal just to be funny, go ahead. But don't use aluminum unless if you're rocket scientist and you already created rockets before. I'm not your property owner. I'm just trying to give you something to. I'm not here to excuse anybody, but I'm here just to not make anybody any threat. I'm just actually just making you accomplish something like in space, just go up there. I mean, I'm not gonna, no one's getting hurt. No, there's no terrorism in this, and hopefully you don't do this to risk anybody's lives. And aluminum is only used for fuel and only for farmers. That's only what it is. And I'm not even doing anything to do any threat to the United States or nothing. I'm just giving rocket instructions. And do not point a rocket. Just point it up and just have experiments on it. Like put let's just say like you want to see how much cold it is up there, which people have done, and you just want to see it for yourself and have a balloon. Just try a balloon. All right, just try a balloon in a gunpowder rocket. Gunpowder is very easy. You don't get watched over, unless if you're a historian and you're just gunpowder is common everywhere, and it's not legal, unless if you use it. But gunpowder is not good at I mean, it's like I'm not here to basically try to make a terrorist attack, which I would never do because I'm honest and I'm a good kid, and I just want to have, if we have a peace altogether, it makes a great advantage of helping space agencies. especially, we got India, Russia. Of course, Russians seems like they just hate it for some reason. There's some type of a Cold War that's starting up again. You know how political, is. There's some people out there, just want to fight the government, and I mean that's kind of dangerous. And as long as you don't do any threatening, you can protest, but you cannot do any explosions or like wackiness. Of course, you need explosions just to get up in the air. Well, if you have I should say, Orion nuclear pulsing thing, which does work, but you can do it in your backyard and be like, dude, the government's like, they come over there, it's like, what are you doing here? Actually, there's a true story, and I heard on, I should say, I think it was on Immigraphs or something. I don't know what it was, but it was a Boy Scout, and he had a nuclear weapon, but he had nuclear reactor, and he was just making a reactor, and there was so much background radiation that actually he actually died, and he did it illegally, which all that he actually did make it. He was just making something, but of course he did die because, don't try this at home. You will die early because of cancer. And unless if you're highly trained, and you're going to have to do this any like Chernobyl, like any nuclear power plant. But what about coal? Steam. Hold on, like that thought. Like, of course, you're watched all the time. There's obviously military people that are watching me, which are the government, and they're watching you every day, and that's basically called security, to make sure that anybody that's doing threats, they will let you know, and they will basically come to your house and ask questions. And everybody's been watching. People don't like that, but it's a good thing to make sure to get all the terrorists that to know what's going to happen and prepare. Just like what happened in Belva West, there was a almost a threat, but a lot. There was a I should say there was going to be a shooter, but they caught him just in time, and it was kind of annoying because I had to stay in one place. Yeah, it was very, very just upsetting because I was in middle PE. Yeah. So now, as I say, I should say what happened in my other channel, some friend asked me that I think I did some type of terrorist threat, and I'm not sure what he said, but it looked like he probably was right. What happened to my channel, but it's unacceptable that it just got automatically away from. That was like months or maybe a year, just a year before that even happened. So it's not that 9/11 one that I posted. It can't be that. And of course, we are friends with, of course, the ones that they attacked us. So I don't know why I actually said that. It just was triggered, of course. But I'm not. We know that we're helping them to fight ISIS or something. I'm just getting myself in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. Just trying to talk about rockets, how to get up there, without anybody getting hurt. Unless if it was an accident, unless it was an extremely accident, and everybody got hurt. Some people died. Just it was just an accident, a failure, of course. But normally, no one's actually at the launch site, unless if someone's just stupid just to get in front of the nozzle, which they would actually force you out of. It's like, hey, you're gonna risk yourself. Why would you do that? I mean, type of thing. So, I'm just really dry. I'm just getting up there. Use a balloon, and obviously you've probably heard of this, which are sounding rockets. What I just talked about. Sounding rockets are basically are just NASA use them. Anybody can use them. I'm not sure. You're gonna have to go to NASA. Hey, I have a sounder rocket. Where'd you get that sounder rocket? You'd be like, I don't know. I just found it randomly on the road. You'd be like, give it to us. No, it's finders keepers. Of course, the government is going to be like, no, give me that. And you're like, no, I don't want that. And then, of course, get a warrant and they just take it away from you. You'd be like, oh, I just founded, that's called just a selfish person. And of course, you'd be like, oh no, they stole something from. No, they didn't. It was their property. You basically were fondling with something, just messing with it. And, I mean, but that never happens. They usually keep track of all this stuff because, they have hardware that is, well, we don't know because I believe that we already have warp technology and we already been testing in space from that, X-33B. And of course, I mean, I'd be very surprised because, I mean, that's why I actually built a replica of the future on Kerbal. But since, of course, I don't have warp technology, I just put infinite fuel on, just pretending that there's a small probe that has warp technology that's launched from the the 3B because it used to be run by NASA, but now, of course, the United States military decided to use it to use top secret experiments, and it's probably really one of them. Which, I mean, maybe that's why they haven't gave it to the public because they don't want people to use it the wrong way, like, terrorist attacks which is until everybody's nice, which probably will take a long time. We already got North Korea friendly, and we don't want to mess, those people up. Like, we already got, close to it, and just don't understand why stupid people just hate Trump. I like Trump. And, of course, when you get older, you realize how he's literally actually making friends with our countries. What Obama did, he did the opposite. He literally almost started a war, of course, but he basically made things that were not supposed to be happening and ruined our insurance. That's what happened. Of course, he basically wanted to become president, which is impossible. It says in the, if you know about the government, which you probably should do because you'd be much more smarter and do right decisions like research and help other people out to make a. But, of course, by doing this, the more people that are interested in space, the more humongous they. But I guess it's not like that because the more people, the more you're going to have to pay, which is going to be less. So, yeah. Unless that there's an easy way to literally put stuff in orbit and just build large space station, which I believe it's like larger than the ISS. And Scummand described it as like a weird thing. And I agree with him as for the Dreamers, like on the side of it. I mean, that's like my idea, but like in like what type of thing? I mean, that's just, it's just outrageously wicked. I mean, how to get in those seats are impossible because you're rotating like the speed of how I should say Earth uses its own. Well, I always thought it was the core that made the gravity, but no, it's the mass that causes it. So anytime an object comes from Earth, it has more mass to our planet, which equals to that. So when that meteor killed the dinosaurs, it added not just less oxygen, because of course what I think is the oxygen basically got burned up. That's how I'm saying it. And that's how we didn't get to be, that's where there were no big aminals into the timeline, but blue whales are the only ones that are big because of the oxygen that's in the water. And that's left over because below there, usually it has much more pressure of atmosphere, because once you get deeper, if you removed all the water in the earth, if you go down deep to the deepest point, you'll get crushed because the pressure is so unbreakable. But if you went to Mars and went to that where that crater is, the atmospheres could be probably like Earth, theoretically, I should say. So if you put a rover there and you basically have this barometer that just like tests for the wind, it's gonna say, "Hey, it's comfortable, but there's no oxygen." You can fly airplanes if it's enough. You could definitely fly a carbon monoxide airplane. Yeah, it's probably going to use some type of fuel like oxygen instead of carbon. Or no, it's going to use oxygen instead of just regular jet fuel because there's no oxygen. We use oxygen. When airplanes fly, they use jet fuel, which inhale oxygen. But when you put an airplane on Mars, it's not gonna grab it. It's just gonna no, I can't. It's impossible. So what's gonna do is just gonna drop dead. It's the airplane's literally just gonna be like because there's no atmosphere to literally lift it, and you're gonna have to. It's impossible to fly do that. You're gonna have to use RCS just to get just pitch up because pardon me, just to get into highly elliptical orbit with a space plane. That's what I'm getting. But of course, getting there to Mars is a challenge, and you guys can definitely make. But of course, speaking of Mars, I did heard about the not the opportunity. I'm not going to be talking about that. I know everybody knows about the Opportunity rover, which some people just look at as like, oh, it's just a rover. No, when you're like me, it's just someone that died, and it really makes me sad that you don't like that stuff, and I just wish you appreciate the things that we used money, billions of money, trillions of money just to get to Mars. And you guys don't understand that what you pay taxes is going to be used for important stuff. Well, like, research and development. So if you guys are protesting more taxes, that means you're stressing out the government, and the government is going to make it worse, which they're going to start forcing you to get your money out of your pockets. So you might as well, it's like donating money. It has to be done. Without this type of government, it's not going to be a good place to live in. It's going to be like America, I should say. But this is America, and that's how we work by of course, the government layout, which is just perfect, and that's how it's a free country, and it's a beautiful and a land of free, and that's how we be able to get this place to be beautiful and, well, of course, top notch. But of course, there's property people that have low prices and they don't, have that much money and don't have enough ideas, or they just have a divorce. And of course, anybody families are watching this, don't get a divorce. It will ruin both lives. It just we haven't had divorce yet. But without divorce, you'll be able to share money and have the resources rather than having only a child. So, of course, there are probably not going to be no parents are going to be watching this because usually parents are working, which, but unless if anybody that's on this channel or on my other channel when it gets back, I'd like to talk to you if you know about space, and especially if you've been working on something like like a project. I would love to hear about it. And probably like the other guy called the Scott Magnally, Everyday Astronaut. There is all these YouTubers out there that are much more advanced than me and have the technology to explain how to fly. But I'm not just saying because of this ending of it, just say, hey, you didn't explain anything. I can explain things. And, of course, that every time I do this stuff, normally people don't interest in it, and they usually don't like it. But hey, you'll get eventually because you realize that, oh my God, it's just wonderful out there how amazing it is with exoplanets. And you like, of course, if you watched, which probably have, Lost in Space, the Netflix one, you'd be able to learn about the exoplanets that are near us. We think it has life, but we don't know what it looks like unless we have the Dragonfly project, which basically what I'm saying, probably you're falling asleep and probably not paying attention. But I understand that that you have things to do, and we all have things to do. But when you have enough time, you get your job done. But I gotta stop this before I get in trouble for no reason. It's like, but for this, one stream that I've been saying things that I should not say. This is just for entertainment, not, I should say, no threatening, nothing like that. Nothing, not at all. I will promise you, nothing. Even though that there's scammers out there that want to be jackasses, but of course I've been scammed 4 or 3 or 2 times. Just get those scammers, not me, because I don't scam, and I don't know even how to scam, because I'm smart, I know my own good, and my dad, he knows what when there's something, because people like that are just mean people. When they scam people, it just ruins your life. And I almost got my life ruined over my account that was from 2013, older than, I should say, my YouTube channel, which is from 2015. My other one, if people are not new to this channel, I'd love to reach again where my milestone was before, because it will, of course, that would make me sad, because if the more subscribers I have, the more depressing I get that the others one that's probably have been unsubscribed and having so much less subscribers. I've been subscribed so long ago. It really tears my heart apart to see that other channel just collapse when I get back on it, and how many notifications I'm gonna get. And but when I get to a higher rank, I'll definitely will try to talk to YouTube. And definitely, if I, have the invention of the werewolf space, I would definitely have some attention. And then when I get that attention, I'll definitely talk to, I should say, YouTube or Google. Say, hey, long time ago on, 2019, January 4th, my account got deleted or whatever. And I want you to say, can you just say why? Of course, they will say, we never knew about that, which is going to make me cry. Even though that I'm probably be having an invention that's reusable, taking you to the moon. I say you because, of course, you want to live somewhere else instead of Earth. You're tired of your just existence, and you just want to live somewhere else. They say the astronauts that were there, they say it was spectacular, beautiful. But of course, when you're there for like a year, it's probably going to look kind of boring but hey, I don't know. We don't know what the human reactions are going to look like when they're on the moon. So, and you probably have to exercise much more, and because you need, once you get back to Earth, and especially when there's breeding on the moon, which I already had discussed on my other channel, which I'm kind of pissed off that I can't access it, and of course you guys can't access it. It's kind of rude for YouTube to just do that, because I had some science stuff and some things that I want to explain. Is it because of the werewolf space plane that you got angry of? If it is, I'm really going to get very to the top of this. And I'm already 18. And, of course, I need that account back as soon as I graduate. If I don't, I'm going to crawl into a little ball and just cry and cry. And probably will. I'm not going to say this because that will get me in trouble. I had a dream about my account getting in trouble by just worried about dreams and just threat, and what happened to my other thing, and just my other YouTube, this thing is just ruined. I just have nightmares of it. It just kind of imagines me and how YouTube had squeezed me in when this happened on January 4th, 2019. It was just the normal day. I came home, played Kerbal Space Program, just watching a Mars thing. And then this. You're truly a monster, I should say. I'm not the bad guy. Nobody is. I'm just an autistic person that just barely almost became an adult. And you rain on my parade. I will never stop talking about this until I have an answer what happened to it, what I did wrong. Because I don't know. I read the terms of service. I almost read them all just to make sure what I did wrong. And, the only evidence I did, but I'm not going to talk about it because I might get in trouble again, but I don't know. I don't know. And I just wish I knew. But I don't. Even though we tried everything, I'm just really upset that I have this camera, and if I had my other account, I would definitely have so much good comments or something. But no, all those subscribers are useless. And of course, I do have just a tiny bit of subscribers. I would have been had 1,000 and then probably next, but it will take more years. So it'd be appreciative that you must subscribe no matter what it is, unless my other account is screwed. Because I want you once we get to at least 1,000, I'm very angry. And that'll be part where I'm going to be probably 25 years old when I have 1,000. That's how long it's going to take. I would have been probably be, 20 if I had the other channel. That's how much I need it back because I have so much history that I have put on there. Hard work, Minecraft. It really makes me cry. Hard work and all of that stuff from 2015. Even though I posted, it's from 2012 that were supposed to be published, but still, those were my favorite moments. And I do listen to them backwards. And people at my school love to watch them and, are, making, puns out of them. And I actually did make some, puns, and I just made a playlist that was from 2019 videos and playlists, and it makes me just heartbroken that you guys just, I don't know, whatever you did to me, please don't do it again, because this is what happens when you do to a person. Don't ever report someone or anything. Let me know before you do it so I can do it the good way. And whoever reported me, all right, I want you to talk to me. All right, just please comment. I will answer all comments. I will read them all. I promise. I probably won't look at my email because usually I'm too lazy to do it, but I promise you, anything else, then I will promise that I'll do better. No opposite. But of course, there's not enough viewers and stuff. And of course, I didn't have that much viewers when I had my other channel. But even though I had 126 subscribers maximum, I actually did. I would have had probably 7. And probably in the future, I'll probably have 130. But can you fly? Of course you can. But to me, it seems like I'm not going to fly for a while. Not to my watch. But of course, if you were interested in this, which you probably weren't, but I would like to thank you to my, I should say, supporters from Steam that helped me from not getting scammed, and I'll just thank you, and of course my mom. And if anything that I'm doing wrong, please tell me in the comments. Anything that's doing illegally that I'm doing that I'm not supposed to do, I will definitely try to delete this or try to make something to convince, because whatever I did last time, I need some answers so I don't do it again. I'm just gonna try to make as positive videos as I can, not making too much hate in anybody, just smiley faces all over the place. Because when I had that dream, I had to have smiley every single video I did just to not get caught. It was kind of weird dream, but these, it was like a Twilight sense, I should say. The werewolves were just like teenagers like me, and then I was at I was at my school at like where I'm at right now, in the cafeteria, and it was different, very strange. I don't know who they were. I don't even recognize those kids that were in my dream. Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I guess because. Sorry. Okay, I think I need to go. I want to play some Team Fortress Classic or Team Fortress 2 or something cool. And of course, I have done astronomy things. I don't understand why YouTube does not like it. People have done it before. It just makes me kind of sad that I did science ones, and YouTube should have double looked at my account and how many good stuff that I did on like playlists that I researched and the funny things I did. Are they gone or are they deleted? I want some answers, and if anybody would have some answers, I would greatly have appreciation. Because you can't learn your mistakes when you don't know what you did. But for now on, I'm just gonna act as happy as possible. Try to as less threatening, as less as 0%, which I'm just gonna say that because I don't like it, in trouble. And if I threaten anybody, I'm very sorry. That in a case that it wasn't threatening to me, I'm really sorry, and I won't do it again. Let me know in the comments. And if I scared any children for any apparent reason, I'm extremely sorry. And I'll make sure that this is the only video um, that it has been, because sometimes I forget to take my medicine or it's worn out, and that could be the case. And you gotta understand that autism kind of messes with your brain, and it's not my fault, and it will never happen to you in the sense. I'm just trying to help and try to have a better future, and better futures are a really good start. And I don't want to harm anybody or any sense with nothing. All right, I would definitely will pay you $20 if I did anything to you, which was kind of weird. But the more I say this, the more kind of stupid I am. So for further ado, I gotta stop because sometimes my brain goes into a strange loop, and sometimes the things I say gets worse. And apparently, that some of the things I say, which probably are not true, and gets into a loop, and then of course I start talking about dumb things or not the category, and that's how it is. And it's it's my fault, but still, it's just my brain functions, and I'm just still I'm very young, and only people. Okay, I guess I'll just need to stop here because the more I talk, the more, of course. Oh, all right, we need to stop now. So I see you guys to another live stream, and hopefully um, that things get better. If they don't, I'm gonna be very sad. And if any of you out there have defended me, please keep defending me. That my innocence are possible. I see you guys later.